Hello, fellow writers, and welcome back to my channel. It is a beautiful, rainy, gloomy Saturday, and this will be my final weekend of Preptober. It's been a crazy month. I'm going to be doing today's Preptober check-in update a little bit more vlog style than just sit down and share style because I did not actually get to write more than one day this week. I was working around stories all week, but I was not able to work on mine all week. So I did manage to get some done the day that I did write, and I feel very proud of how much I got done that day. But I'm just very sad I have not gotten to write, and so I have taken today as a bit of a little mini writing retreat. I'm going to be locking myself here in my office. I got my giant water bottle for hydration and some healthy cookies for protein, and I'm going to just sit down and work. I think I'll start with drafting since that's his first goal, and it's also the one of the two goals that's like requires more brain power. And then from there, I will move to outlining. I will not be outlining with the live stream this week because I feel like as much as I've enjoyed listening to the live stream that I have been outlining alongside, it's really just more distracting at this point. So I'm just going to turn on music and maybe hop on maybe some writing sprints on Discord, see who's on there writing, and do like outlining as my drafting or as my my words. I don't know. But I'm going to do that in a little while. And I'll just kind of do a little bit, and then I'll keep you guys posted, and I'll update you at the end of the day with how much I managed to get done this week. So where I am sitting at with the draft of Swan Song, so the fairy tale retelling, working on the second half. This is just the second half. I'm currently sitting at 31,286 words, which the goal for the first half will be eventually to be 40K or less. But I'm okay with this right now. I very easily probably have 15,000 words more to write. I am right at the 3/4 mark through the book. We are heading into the part of the plot where things are starting to spiral out of control for the poor protagonist. She is in a really bad spot. And this is the part where she just has to persevere and endure and dig down deep and all of the things, that our heroes have to do at the end of the story to be able to survive and to make it through the climax. And she's about to be tested. She's about to be massively tested in that regard. And we're going to see if she's going to hold out, because it's going to be very tempting for her to give up at this point. I'm basically trying to make it as tempting as possible because her climactic ending is not killing the bad guy. Like, that's not her end. Her end is just choosing not to give up until she's finished with her task and she has saved her brothers from the curse. Like, that is kind of her climactic ending. And it's still actioning in its own way, but it's definitely more emotional than external. So I'm really enjoying ramping up the tension by giving her every possible reason to give up beforehand and every excuse. All right, so we've written about 2,217 words in, I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe? I am very close to finishing this scene. I knew this was going to be a longer scene. This is kind of like a big to-do scene. So still all one scene. And I'm right there at the end, like I have maybe a couple of paragraphs left. But this chair is killing me, and I'm starting to feel very sleepy. I actually did not sleep very well last night for whatever reason. So I am going to take the laptop back into the bedroom with me and write the last couple paragraphs. Probably could take me about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to call it for a little while. I'm going to take a break, have a drink, lay down, take a nap, try and get a little bit of rest on my brain. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and switch over and do the outlining, which I will be back in the office probably for that. Honestly, for only having written 2 days this whole week, I feel like 3 scenes is not bad at all, especially since the one scene here is probably going to be a 20 2,500 to 3,000 word scene. Again, this is one of those things I don't know if I'll be able to cut it down. But hopefully if I only have like a few of those, I should be okay. But yeah, I think honestly that this will it will round out this 4th week of drafting pretty well for only having written for the 2 days. All right, so we are back way later than anticipated. Ooh, hello, focus. And we are going to be doing a timeline for the events of this fairy tale, which may give you some ideas about the fairy tale, but quite probably not. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fill out a timeline for events, and then I think I'm going to back up and do a little bit of character work, and then just go through some of the beats and see what happens. I have switched over now, and I am working on the beat-based scene-by-scene, and just kind of going through and putting in things that I think would be happening and what I think they would be doing following the Act 1 that they've had, like what they would be choosing to do, balanced with how life is going to be going on around them, some things that are going to get thrown at them. And it's going really well. I'm in the fun and games beat right now, which is basically just all of the things happening. It's not really a beat. It's just everything that happens leading up to the midpoint. And I'm hoping to do the similar thing that I did last weekend where I end up with about 10 scenes. I'm just going to kind of look and see about what I end up with and then see if there's anything that I can combine or condense if I end up with too many, or if I end up with just enough or under, I'm going to leave it. And then I can give myself room to add in some more later if I need to. But it's going really well. It is getting late now, though, and very soon I am going to need to pause and make supper. So we're going to see how far I make it. I feel like I can get up to the midpoint. I'm feeling pretty hopeful. I'm feeling pretty hopeful in that degree. So I'll catch back up with you in a minute. Can we just appreciate how cozy this little setup is, and all the notebooks and the little lights, and I wish that I could sit back here for longer. But this chair, my body just does not I cannot sit in that chair anymore. Okay, so I just paused to put some little turkey burgers on for me, and I think the kids are going to have sandwiches later. No idea what Daddy is doing. He's kind of fending for himself today. But I did get 5 scenes figured out for the female protagonist, so the lead protagonist of the story. I did not include the B story beat as an official, I think I mentioned it in one of the male POV's scenes that potentially it could be a B story. But I want to be careful with following that element of the formula too much, because I feel like that could get very copy and paste very quickly, and I'm trying really hard not to do that. So I have 5 scenes. If I can do, I have 1 scene for the male point of view character. That's that break into Act 2. If I can give him 4 more scenes that will cover his next section up to the midpoint's going to be its own scene, and then I'm going to have the mirror moment be its own scene. So technically we're probably going to end up with a couple more, but if I can get about 4 more scenes to kind of cover what happens with this male point of view character leading up to the midpoint, or even potentially split the midpoint into 2 scenes, because his is a heavier physical action type sequence because of what's happening in the fairy tale, then I think that I can call it a night and say that I hit my goal of reaching the halfway point, and I can put all of these into the 3-act, 4-act structure and print it off and have my outline ready to go. I'm really excited. This is going really well. Also, I can't get over how hilarious it is. I'm already at 2,500 words in my outline, and we're halfway through the story. That's good. Means I have a lot figured out. Okay, I apologize for the handheld thing, but my 3-year-old broke my tripod, and my new one doesn't get here till tomorrow. And I want to just go ahead and finish filming because I'm very excited, and I want to go ahead and get this video out. So it's going to be handheld, and I just apologize for that. But I have now ended the night with writing, and I feel really good. Project Glass, the next fairy tale, is halfway through being outlined, and I am so excited about that. The original goal, obviously, was to outline the entire novel. I feel like I'm pretty close-ish, maybe. Like, I have other beats in the story figured out. I know what the ending is going to be and kind of the emotional journey that the characters are going to go on. You hear the dinner chaos happening. I love it. Anyway, I feel like it's in a really good place. I'm leaving it off with the midpoint and mirror moments for both of the characters very vague, just 1 or 2 lines each, so I know kind of basically what's happening. And I think that I'll wait and go back at another time and flesh out the details of those. But for right now, I'm very happy with it as is. In fact, I ended up figuring out some tie-ins with the first act that explain and foreshadow and are kind of like the Chekhov's gun for this second quarter of the book. As far as the plan for the rest of Project Glass, I guess I'm just going to use this as the first portion of my NaNo plans. You guys know I'm doing the NaNo Rebel thing this year, and I'm going to be outlining fairy tales to complete the rest of the series instead of actually drafting, which I'm very grateful for. This last week, baby must have made a huge growth spurt because, for one thing, my belly just got huge out of nowhere. I went from being able to suck it in and still kind of like looking maybe almost not pregnant to now there is no sucking anything in. And I've got round ligament pain going on and pressure and all kinds of things. And so we've officially, I think we're hitting the 3rd trimester sometime in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure exactly which week I switch over, but I'm glad that I decided to do the drafting already this month. I'm really happy that we're heading into this next month with no giant plans of like 50,000 words. As far as Project Glass goes, I feel very happy with where I got in Preptober. Again, I could sit down and start drafting this book right now and feel confident that I could make it to the halfway point before I needed to really do much more brainstorming and outlining. And that in and of itself is pretty huge. I'm really happy. I do find it kind of funny that like the full beat outline is right at about 3,000 words right now. And the scene by scene outline where I took all the scenes and I, filtered them through where I actually would want them placed and I added in details and stuff is now at 3,487 words. I've got a lot of detail and yet at the same time, I feel like there's so much more that I'm going to discover as I go through the draft. I think it's going to be really exciting. And I did hit 5 scenes for each for the second quarter. So we're right on the level. Again, the midpoint and mirror moment scenes for each of them are separate, but I believe that I'm going to lump those in with the 3rd quarter of the book, which I'll be starting, fingers crossed, sometime this week. Now, my plan is for those final days to kind of push on Monday and Tuesday to see how far into Swan Song I can draft before I just have to call it quits for the month of October. And hopefully I will be filming the final days of writing Swan Song and me typing up the end and all of that and sharing that as a vlog. But heading into my Rebel NaNo month, I am hoping to do some kind of weekly vlogs, but I'm not sure what I will be doing exactly. As I mentioned last week, I think it would be so much fun to do a vlog style, here's how I do my pre-writing process in more detail than what I've been able to do here in this Preptober updates. But we're going to have to see because, again, I'm hitting that 3rd trimester now where my body needs more rest. So we're going to have to see. We're just going to have to see. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and this little peek into my Preptober process this year. If you did, be sure to give this video a like and hit the subscribe button and the notification button on your way out. I am planning on continuing to post all the way up and through until baby gets here, and then we're going to kind of see what kind of season of rest I may need after that. But for right now, we're still doing the mommy author thing and continuing to write the books and record. I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend writing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.